get familiar. So if you don't know by now, then you should probably get familiar.
Hello students, so welcome back to the video part number 9 I think. Okay, so in this part of the video, so let us discuss the decay of charge in series LCR circuit. So earlier we were discussing about the circuit consisting of either LR, that means inductor and resistor, or RC circuit, that means resistor and capacitor circuit. Okay, so now in this part of the video, let us discuss a circuit consisting of all the three: inductor, capacitor, resistor in series. Okay, in that combination we have applied a EMF E. Okay, across the LCR combination we have applied the EMF E by the battery. Okay, so along with a two-way switch again, it is required here to charge the capacitor and to discharge the capacitor also. Okay, so how it works, as you know already. So when the key is put in the position 1, so that means if you put the position to the 1, so primary part of circuit is closed. So what happens when the primary part of circuit is closed? The charging current is passing through the circuit, and hence the capacitor gets charges. Okay, after some time the capacitor completely charges to its capacity. Okay, so usually we take that maximum charges in the capacitor as Q0, isn't it? So the maximum charging capacity is taken as Q0. So once it is completely charged, then you have to discharge, isn't it? How to discharge? You have to throw the switch to position 2, so that this side it is open, so switch position 2 is closed. So then secondary part of circuit is now closed. So then the capacitor starts discharging its charges across the inductor and resistor. Okay, that is the way of working of two-way switch. Okay, now when the key is put in the position 1, the capacitor gets charged in LCR series circuit shown in the figure. And then let us consider Q0 be the maximum charge on the capacitor after a sufficient interval of time. Now if the key is thrown to position 2, it discharges through L and R, isn't it? It discharges through the inductor and resistor. So now during discharge, how the discharging takes place in the transient period. So that is what we will discuss now in this video, right? So that is called actually decay of charge in the LCR circuit during discharging. Okay, for that let us consider the initial conditions. When time t equal to 0, the charge on the capacitor is taken as I said, Q is equal to Q0, right? And then consider Q as the charge at any other instant of time t. That means during discharging, so what is the charge in the capacitor at any other time t? Okay, at this particular instant of time t, we will take it as Q. So Q0 is maximum charge. As it decreases to any value Q at any instant of time t, like that. Okay, then so during discharging we can have the potential drop across the capacitor, potential drop across the resistor, and across the inductor we can get the back EMF, isn't it? So all these three we can write here, like the potential drop across the capacitor Vc is equal to now Q by C, and potential drop across the resistor Vr is equal to I into R according to Ohm's law, and then the induced EMF in the inductor is minus L into di by dt, because it is back EMF. You should have the negative sign compared to the supply EMF. So back EMF is considered as minus L. Okay, now considering all these three, so we can apply the Kirchhoff's voltage law. Okay, in the secondary part of circuit, now the back EMF produced across the L is minus L into di by dt. So that should be equivalent to the potential drop across the resistor and capacitor. Okay, so across resistor I into R, across the capacitor it is Q by C, correct, at the given instant of time. So we have all this equated according to Kirchhoff's voltage law. Now just to rearrange this equation, okay, so we can take minus L di by dt on the other side, so that you will have the equation like L into di by dt plus IR plus Q by C is equal to 0. Now in this equation we can substitute the current equation. Charging current is given by now what? So rate of change of charge dq by dt, isn't it? I is equal to dq by dt. So if you substitute here, you will get di by dt. Instead of di by dt, you will get d square q by dt square, as you differentiate dq by dt again. Okay, double differentiation will give you the di by dt. So L into d square q by dt square plus IR plus q by c is equal to 0 is the equation obtained from KVL law. Okay, now let me proceed from this equation. Okay, so note down up to this equation and then I will proceed this side. Okay, now look at the continuation here. So d square q by dt square plus r by L dq by dt. So that means I is equal to dq by dt is substituted in place of IR. Okay, that means you get again dq by dt plus q by LC is equal to 0. So this is obtained by, so dividing the entire equation by L, you will get this equation, correct? Okay, then in this above equation put r by L is equal to 2b. Okay, I will take this particular constant r by L is equal to 2b, some constant, so that you can simplify the equation further. And L by 1 by LC is there, no? So you take another constant 1 by LC as k square. Okay. Okay. Now if you substitute these two constants in the above equation, d square q by dt square plus r by L is equal to 2b into dq by dt plus, okay, 1 by LC is equal to k square into q, okay, is equal to 0. So now look at this equation. It looks like a quadratic equation for you, right? Quadratic equation. Okay, now let us consider to assume q is equal to a into alpha e to the power of alpha t be the trial solution. So that means if you assume the above equation as quadratic equation, so solution must be in this form. Okay, so solution means q is equal to how much? Constant again you are considering as a e to the power of alpha t. Okay, is it, if you take q is equal to a into e to the power of alpha t, then you can show how dq by dt and d square q by dt square can be obtained, right? See, look at here. Then so dq by dt, differentiation of the above equation, dq by dt is equal to so alpha, coefficient of t is alpha here, so you have to multiply by coefficient of alpha, the coefficient of t, that is alpha a e to the power of alpha t. Okay, in the after differentiation, if you differentiate again, you will get one more alpha here, isn't it? So alpha square a e to the power of alpha t. So that is d square q by dt square. Okay. So now we have the equation for q, we have the equation for dq by dt, and we have the equation for d square q by dt square. You substitute all these three in the above equation. So above equation is taken as equation 1 here for your reference. So in equation 1, if you substitute all these three, you will get, so here d square q by dt square, so that is alpha square a into e to the power of alpha t plus 2b. Okay, after 2b what do we have? dq by dt, substitute dq by dt as alpha a into e to the power of alpha t. Okay, plus k square, after k square we have only q is equal to how much? A into e to the power of alpha t, that is equal to 0. Okay, so what is common term in this equation now? So we can see that a into alpha e to the power of t, a into e to the power of alpha t, here also a into e to the power of alpha t, a into e to the power of alpha t is common. Okay, so except that we have alpha square plus 2b alpha plus k square inside the bracket, so a into e to the power of alpha t is taken as common. Okay, so now we can proceed further here. Okay, so we can look at the continuation. Alpha square plus 2b alpha plus k square is inside the bracket. Okay, so multiplied by a into e to the power of alpha t. So we can equate any of the quantity is equal to 0 here. So let us assume now the quantity inside the bracket is equal to 0. So that is alpha square plus 2b alpha plus k square is equal to 0. Now this is another quadratic equation. So if it is equated to 0, then the roots, you can consider the roots of the quadratic equation in the form of alpha is equal to now minus b plus or minus square root of b square minus k square, right? So these two considers two roots of the equation because plus or minus is there, isn't it? So we can apply plus and minus both, so that we have the two roots like alpha 1. First root is alpha 1 is equal to minus b plus square root of b square minus k square, and second root is alpha 2 is equal to minus b. Okay, in place of plus, we take minus, that is square root of b square minus k square. So using these two roots of the above equation, okay, so we can simplify the equation for the charges here. Now let us see how it is possible. Okay, so in terms of alpha 1 and alpha 2, you can write the true solution in the form of q is equal to a into e to the power of alpha 1 t plus b into e to the power of alpha 2 into t. So where alpha 1, alpha 2 are the two roots of the above equation, right? So now you proceed with the initial condition again. So when time t equal to 0, so what is the charge? It is equal to q naught. So therefore you take the above equation as 2, then from the above equation 2 we have q naught is equal to, substitute this t equal to 0, e to the power of 0, e to the power of 0, you will get 1, and hence value of q is equal to q naught, therefore q naught is equal to now a plus b. Okay, so then differentiating the equation 2 again. Okay, take the equation 2 and differentiate with respect to time t, so that you will get the charging current, so that is I. Okay, I is equal to dq by dt, so that the above equation differentiated now, coefficient of t is equal to alpha 1, therefore you can write a into alpha 1 e to the power of alpha 1 t plus, here differentiation of the second term, that is b into alpha 2 e to the power of alpha 2 into t. Okay, so again apply the initial conditions like t equal to 0. What about the current? Because now in this equation we have the current I. Okay, you have to see the current initially. When time t equal to 0, I is also equal to 0, and hence you can write this I is equal to 0 here, so that you will get the equation as a into alpha 1 e to the power of alpha 1 into t, t equal to 0, isn't it? So this term is equal to 1 now. Okay, this is also equal to 1. So and then you will get only a alpha 1 plus b alpha 2 is equal to, current is equal to 0. Therefore a alpha 1 plus b alpha 2 is equal to 0. Okay, so now this is in terms of alpha 1 and alpha 2, but we know what is alpha 1 alpha 2 here. Okay, substitute the value of alpha 1 and alpha 2 and then proceed for simplification. Okay, okay, so substitution of alpha 1 and alpha 2 and then simplification part is here. Okay, so alpha 1 is equal to minus b plus square root of b square minus k square is substituted here, and alpha 2 as minus b minus square root of b square minus k square. Okay, here it is plus, here it is minus, that's it. So it is equal to 0 as per equation 4. Okay, so let it be equation numbers like 2, 3, 4 and then proceed here. Okay, now so in the above equation let us say minus b into a is here and minus b into b, so that I will take minus b as common, correct? So if you take minus b common, you left with a plus b inside the bracket. Similarly, the common term square root of b square minus k square, you take that also common, so you left with a plus b, sorry, a minus is there, isn't it? So you get minus b here, so a minus b, so the common term is square root of b square minus k square in the equation. Okay, so it is equal to 0. Okay, now in the above equation, so already a plus b, the sum of the constants a plus b is equal to q naught as per this equation 3. You can look at here, a plus b is equal to q naught. So therefore you can write the above equation as minus b into q naught plus square root of b square minus k square into a minus b equal to 0. So what actually we want here is a minus b. So simplify for a minus b. Okay, so a minus b is equal to okay, so this is actually minus term, you can take it in the right hand side, it will become plus b q naught, okay, divided by the coefficient of a minus b is square root of b square minus k square, okay, comes in the denominator, square root of b square minus k square. Okay, so this is the equation for a minus b, let it be equation number 5. Okay, so now a plus b is equal to q naught and a minus b is equal to b q naught by square root of b square minus k square, right? So you can just add the equation to simplify and get one of the constants, that is, let us say a. Okay, just if we adding equation 3 and 5. Okay, then b cancels, isn't it? So minus b is here, plus b is here. So you will get only a, 2a you will get, adding a plus a, 2a is equal to, so q naught into, okay, we have q naught plus this term, but q naught is common in both the equations, so q naught is taken common, so left with 1 plus b by square root of b square minus k square, or you can write the constant a is equal to what? So q naught by 2, we have to write 2 here, q naught by 2 into 1 plus b by square root of b square minus k square. So this equation 6 will give you one of the constant, that is a. And by substituting this constant a in any one of the equation, either 3 or 3 or 5, you can get the other constant b. Okay, so I will proceed that now here. So note down up to equation 6 first. Here you can see how to find the value of b. Okay, just subtracting the equation 5 from equation 3, so we get the value 2b is equal to q naught into 1 minus b by square root of b square minus k square. So and hence b is equal to q naught by 2 into 1 minus b by square root of b square minus k square. Okay, like that we get the equation 6 and 7 as the values for a and b. Okay, now finally you go and substitute the values of a and b and the values of alpha 1 and alpha 2, okay, in the equation 2. So we get the final equation for the charge, that is, we obtain q is equal to q naught by 2 into 1 plus b by square root of b square minus k square into e to the power of minus b plus square root of b square plus k square into t. Okay, plus, so value of b now, so that is 1 minus b by square root of b square minus k square e to the power of minus b minus here now, okay, square root of b square plus k square into t. Okay, so this is the equation for the charge at any instant of time in the LCR circuit during decay. Okay, so depending upon the values of b square and k square, square root of b square plus k square is there, isn't it? So depending upon the value of b square and k square inside the bracket, so we can have the different type of decreasing of the charge with respect to time t. Okay, so they are actually the special cases to be discussed. Okay, okay, now we can look at the special cases here. Okay, discuss it very briefly. Okay, so from this equation 8, if you consider the term square root of b square minus k square, okay, inside the bracket, so we have square root of b square minus k square, isn't it? So you take the term and compare the values of b square and k square. Okay, we have, of course, we have what is b and what is k defined in the beginning itself. Okay, you take that values and compare. So when b square is greater than k square, the quantity under the root, okay, will become positive. That means the square root of b square minus k square. So if b square is greater than k square, automatically this term will be positive. Okay, so in that condition you will get the discharging. Okay, what type of discharge? You know, discharge is rapid. Okay, it is rapidly discharging, and this is considered as aperiodic discharging or deadbeat. So it is also, you can say, non-oscillatory type of discharge. Okay, similarly in the second case, you see when b square is equal to k square in the square root, okay, the quantity under the root is 0. Okay, this gives what type of damping? So that is critically damping type of discharge. Okay, then when b square is less than k square, the quantity under the root is imaginary. So when it is imaginary, then it gives the damped oscillatory discharge. So like that we have 3 types of discharging type in the LCR circuit. So you can see that in the graph also. See, charge on the capacitor along y-axis, okay, with respect to time, of course, in seconds. So you can see that three curves. First curve is damping, isn't it? That means deadbeat. So deadbeat curve is this one. So in the very short interval of time, the charge from this maximum value Q naught decreases to 0. That is called deadbeat, non-oscillatory. And even second one is also non-oscillatory and not even oscillatory also. So, but of course it may be slowly decreasing, but not it is deadbeat. So we can call it as critically damped discharge, second one. Okay. The third curve, so this is actually oscillatory type, sinusoidal type of oscillatory. Okay. That is possible when B square is less than K square. So it gives the oscillatory. Like that. Okay. So three possible type of discharge take place in the decay in the LCR circuit. Clear? So that is all about the decay of charge in LCR series circuit. Okay. So just write down up to all these explanation terms. Then I will see you in the next class.